Hi everyone. What I want to do in the next couple of minutes is to explain BiMPay, what it is, and do it in a manner that, in my view, everyone should be able to understand. So I will demystify some of the technical jargon around BiMPay. Hopefully I can get it done in 2 slides. So let's begin. What is BiMPay? BiMPay is a national payment system. Let me tell you first what we currently have. At the moment, the payment system, we do have a payment system. Huh? At the moment, the payment system consists of 3 that you can classify as 3 separate systems speaking together. There is the batchy system, what you call the Barbados Automatic Clearinghouse. This system is operated by a private company, but on the board of the batchy system sits the central bank and the 6 commercial banks to make decisions. Now, this system works by schedule, so flows move through in batches, in groups. So not every hour, but in groups, and there are cutoff times, usually business hours only. There's also the carry networks that merchants operate. That's settlement. That's a next day settlement. That's not a same day settlement. And there's the real-time gross settlement system. This part of the payment system sits at the central bank and deals with high-value settlements, primarily businesses, etc., and government. Now, and again, during business hours. So first thing you will notice here, 3 separate systems or individual pieces together. They do communicate, they do speak, but obviously it's not in real time, because they're separate. There must be there's some gap in communication. And usually it is, if it's a weekend, then it is it's Monday morning. That's the delay. Who interacts with this payment system? And this red line, this box, remember this, because I'm going to come back to it again, is the payment system. The banks and the credit unions interact currently with the payment system. They are licensed and they interact. They are what we call payment service providers, PSPs. We use that term because in the fullness of time, other persons will be coming on who are not necessarily a bank or credit union companies, fintechs offering similar services. Right now, the banks settle transactions through batchy. So you see this one avenue. They also will interact with card systems, and they use the RTGS at the central bank for high value transactions. So right now there are 3 technically broad channels in which payments are settled. And again, you can see why there will be not instantaneousness in that framework. Now, customers, businesses, and people will interact with the payment system via these payment service providers or financial institutions. So people and businesses, you, I, small business, you supermarkets, everyone, sending money. So paying people, paying bills, paying for services, paying for imports, operate through a bank or a credit union right now. You don't interact there with the system. And so it goes through, and there are also persons receiving funds and transactions. So I send to a company, they receive, but we're again operating through the system and interacting with the payment system. And government, likewise, government operates through banks and the payment system, but government also will interact directly with central bank to the RGTS. And so this is the current state of play. This is the payment system as it stands. Obviously, the main thing is that payments are not consistently instant. In fact, they're never instant in most cases, because by the design, 3 pieces, 3 different houses have to communicate to achieve one goal. There cannot be. And the other thing is that flows will depend on business hours mostly. So if you do a transaction on Friday evening, well, you got to wait till Monday. You will sit on Monday. And things are delayed. So that's the current state. Now, once you understand that, let me move to know what is BiMPay. How BiMPay improves upon that. In comes BiMPay. So I clear everything, start over, magic of technology. BiMPay. BiMPay, instead of 3 separate systems, is one system. One system doing what the 3 were doing, but doing it more efficiently because there's no delay in communications among the system. The system is housed at central bank, but operated at the central bank is instant, clearly, because of that. And also, it is available 24/7, 365 days a year. There's no break in between. This system is not what you will call, remember the red box I told you? That is a new payment system. This is a national payment system now. It is owned, operated by the government, well, through the central bank. It's a national payment system. It brings greater sovereignty, one, but also it means more instant, faster. I don't know if more instant is a term, but you understand what we're trying to say. And 24-hour confirmation, right? Now, how the system looks, you still got your banks, your credit unions, your PSVs, payment supervisors, interact with the system, but now instead of 3, there's 1. Simplicity, speed, and efficiency. Customers still interact. People in business still paying money through the banking system. They're still receiving funds from the banking system transaction. Government still interact, but they interact with the central bank in terms of this BiMPay, and they will continue to interact by its choice sometimes. This is what you will see in terms of March 31st. There's another piece I can give you, but you need to see our old system replaced by a new system. This is what we have to get right by March 31st so that everything works on 1st April. You wake up and it's working smoothly. Now, many persons will have seen my team, myself, out doing educational, explaining to persons what BiMPay, and most persons see BiMPay as this. Bam, the app. Yes, the app is part of BiMPay. The app is part of the payment system, but it is not the payment system. It is part of the payment system. In fact, it's a small part because a lot happens. The actual system is the architect of everything. I hope persons understand that. This app now brings a much more functionality, and actually that's where you will get the benefits to the customer more so than what they're usually doing. If we don't have this, you probably will not see anything changing from April going forward except faster, quicker, and having it 24 hours and 365, which is a big thing. We consider commerce a business, okay? But now you have the app, and the app allows you to receive funds. It allows you to send funds. It allows QR code payments, etc. Let me show what I mean. Customers, people in businesses, people and receiving and sending payments now can interact, download the app, have the app, and because of that, they can now interact with each other directly. You see? So I can send payments to Noveline for a service. She can send payments to me. I can request the cameraman, Matthew there, to send him money you owe me. A guy could come, a carpenter doing some work on my house, on the house or whatever, and I can, when he finish, BiMPay him immediately. I don't have to go to the bank and transfer or do anything. And so there's this interaction, person to person paying a business paying a person. This is the element that you will see that persons are excited about. I'm excited about it too. You can hear it in my voice. This is what we're all excited about, in addition to what you see on the line. This now, BiMPay directly interacts with the banks also. So while you're doing all this, it is supported by a system where we have the usual regulatory framework and support. That means safety, security, and efficiency that you're accustomed to. And BiMPay, as I say, is part of the instant payment system. So there's this instant interoperability, meaning they're speaking language together instantly and fast. And this is the landscape that you expect. What changes? Institutions connect now one system. And you hear the term interoperability. All that means is that like households, people in one household, we speak better. We're closer. But if you know in the village, somebody house there and somebody house there and somebody cross the road, well, maybe evening around 6, 7 o'clock, they got a short cross. Let tell you a little deal here. Everybody's same house. Everybody's same house right here. Everybody's speaking same rules and same language. You're going to get interoperability. You also you still got your credit card, you still got your bank, you still got everything. So that's another important thing. This just brings another layer of choice for commerce and business. So I hope that explains it in simplicity. And now I'm all yours, Noveline.
Yes, it certainly does, Governor. And thanks for demoing what BiMPay is and explaining how it corrects the fragmentation in the system while offering an app to facilitate better payments. Having demoed BiMPay, Governor, it is my absolute delight to have a short conversation with you so we can better explain to Barbadians what to expect in a month or so. So, as you said, you're excited. We at the Central Bank of Barbados are excited. And I'm sure those who've just seen your demo are equally as excited. But we have to manage expectations because we're doing this as phases, as you alluded to in your demo. Just share with us so people understand what we're doing in phase 1, what functionalities to expect in phase 1, phase 2, and finally phase 3.
So, okay, that's a good point, Noveline. So, phase 1, and you will appreciate this. If you're going to change the old system and you want to replace it with a new, more advanced system, now the first phase you have to make sure is that the new advanced system provides all the functionality as it before and works smoothly, right? You don't want the quirks because in any system there are going to be issues of implementation. So the first phase is replacing. So the first phase you will see the big rectangular blocks, replacing all 3. Banks will be connected, the 3 credit unions, the 6 banks, the stock exchange, and the accounting general office is connected directly to BiMPay. There will be also government through the accounting general will be using BiMPay. That brings us to the state of play of the old system challenging the new system. Think of it this way. If some person get heart surgery and replace the heart, a surgeon does not want to replace your heart with a new heart, and at the same time do some cosmetic surgery on your something else you want, and then fix something in your foot or system, because you have to make sure that a new heart, when you replace, the body accepts it. If there are complications, it's related to that. It's not related to the other things you did. So that's why in phase 1, you got to make sure that if there are any issues, the system is good and running and is related to the new system, not because we've done something additional. You know what I mean? In phase 1, 2, you also have the app. So customers will have the app. Individuals will be able to send and receive money, download the app, interact with one another. All the tremendous the app will be available. I must stress though that while we provide the app, the banking service APS will provide the services. So you, the customer, know when you got to tell your bank, make sure you got what you can get on these services. Phase 2, then immediately after that, we are working to make sure all the government is on board. So you're talking about NIS, you're talking about being able to pay your tax obligations, being able to pay for payments. At the moment, there'll be some element of that in phase 1. I don't want complicated. There's still some element of that happening in phase 1. But fully on board the entire government sector. So now, NIS will be able to shoot payments in batches of individuals through their wallet if they desire to. If there's a natural disaster, that will be very important. And that's why the sovereignty matters in respect to bringing this on board. So you are going to pay your bills, your obligations, etc. That is a complete phase 2. In addition, during phase 2, there'll be other, I use the word payment service providers, who are not the traditional banks and the credit unions. Other credit unions too, only first 3 ones who currently is on, who will be now onboarded as they're ready. These fintechs offering different services. So be onboarding them, because now the system working, show you any issues, you're onboarding them. So a company coming offering different kind of services, whether it be anything, we are ready for them. The payment service app and the guidance we have put in place, we are ready. So there are card services out there, persons who offer look, let's talk straight. Let's talk about recently SurePay has been in use. The SurePays, Easy Pays, and they have to plug in through BiMPay. There's no other way. So the SurePay, who, for example, and I'm not single anyone, just calling who others car service providers, store cars and things, and payment, who now operate quite efficiently, I must say. I mean, there's nothing done, there's nothing illegal. It's just that we don't have a framework before. Now we plug into BiMPay, you see? So there's an onboarding process for them that we'll bring them on. So in phase 2, you'll see a growth. You expect fintechs coming on. You'll see a full government sector onboarding moving forward. Phase 3 now even takes it beyond that, where we now be doing even more services related to the merchants. So the app will then evolve. If no fintech has done it, then we will do it and evolve it even better for a merchant focus type of app. We'll fully onboard other services, etc. So that's kind of the phasing and moving forward.
One of the questions that Barbadians have been asking is, will BiMPay allow me to do international transactions? Which phase does that happen in?
There are a number of things happening. At the regional level, we are working towards something called CPAPs. But you will appreciate, for us to have for that to work properly, we have to have our domestic systems working good. So me, say Central Bank, Barbados, we are putting in BiMPay. That's domestic. That's for domestic transactions. Once we have BiMPay working properly, and that's probably more in phase 3 as we was talking about. Once you have that working, then every region now is putting in their form of, every country, in their form of instant national payment system. Then we all connect the CPAPs. So now, at that stage, you're able to make payments across border between Barbados and St. Lucia, Barbados and Trinidad, Barbados and Jamaica, back and forth, paying in your own local currency, not US dollar. That will bring a tremendous amount of benefits. We got to fix the local system first, then you do that. And even then, beyond that, there probably a phase 5 where in the fullness of time, as you know, there are different regional blocks. There are African payment system, there's Pacific regional payment system that allows you now to collect at a regional level and pay in regional currencies outside of one vehicular currency, US. So that is fullness going down the road. I see that, but I need to focus first on building the house, my domestic system first.
So let's get back to the building of the house and the completion time, March 31st. We've also been talking about some overlay services that I'm sure people would be excited about. Just share with Barbadians how these could be used.
Yeah, so March 31st, you should be able on the app to see request to pay. So request to pay works simple. I have my app, and at some point in time, we're going to be demoing, just like demo this, we're going to demo the app so persons have an understanding of what it looks like. But it's an app, you download it for App Store, Apple or Store. It registers it, it's registers BiMPay through your PSV, etc. Then I see a button called request to pay. So I say, wait, persons owe you. So let's look at from this landscape view. He just did some search to me. He wants to get paid, right? Or you wants to get paid. I put in $200. He sends it to me. I see it. I just hit pay, and he gets his $200. The beautiful thing about that request to pay is instantaneousness. So the person requesting don't have that money available for them to pay immediately, within a second. With confirmation, they see that they get it. I see that they get it. So we can count immediately. That does a lot for small businesses. That landscaper now has that money available immediately that he can go and buy supplies, etc., and go and continue to do further work. He ain't got to wait till Monday morning. He ain't got to wait till the check clear. He can go online and transfer, but he doesn't have to. That's a choice. So instantness. So that's a request to pay. And request somebody to pay me. That's what it means. Then there's just pay. I say to the landscaper, so what's your BIM code? Or what's your QR BIM number? Or what's your handle? Maybe his handle is greatest landscaper ever. I find greatest landscaper ever. Put in $200, shoot off. The system recognizes his alias, recognizes a legitimate transaction, interact with BiMPay, and he gets his $200 and he's happy. So that's a pay to pay. QR code now is where each BiMPay has, user will have a unique QR code. It could be static, it doesn't change, or it could be dynamic, where it changes depend on pricing. So, good example. One of the things I do outside of my heavy workload is I play dominoes. And we do it competitively. Some will argue, I'm arguing I best don't play around, but people may dispute that, but that's not the purpose here. So we go in a shop, usually dominoes are paid in your local shops at different scenes, and many small local shops do not have a point of sale to pay because there's a fee and that's a back office cost. Or even if they do have them, it only take one card, a type of card, etc. That shop that you're paying dominoes that, and what is the limitation of that, by the way? First of all, is that often, even there as governor, you're a governor and you're hanging out playing dominoes. People accept to buy a little beverage for them. So you got a lot of little beverage change. With a $200 something for everybody. Sometimes I will have to plan beforehand to walk with cash to dominoes. I will got to leave and find an ATM machine somewhere, which is risky sometimes. But if I have BiMPay, when it's the merchant now can print off a QR code, put it inside the shop, the counter, or have on his iPad, his BiMPay app, and I just scan. It being dynamic, he put in price. So this bill now is $203 because you buy a run for this body of whiskey and eat some chicken. I see it scan and I pay. Now he gets his money immediately, right? I don't have to worry, and he doesn't have to miss a sale because if I don't have $200, we're all good intent, I still can't do that, and that is the plight of most people. I don't have enough cash, or we went to the flower show the other day, remember? And many persons, and different shows as we were trying to explain BiMPay, and many persons were saying, man, I can come back for that. They generally sometimes want to come back. They may come back, but sometimes they forget, or invariably, they don't get the opportunity to come back. That's a missed sale. No, it ain't gonna happen. I said, man, I got BiMPay. You got BiMPay? BiMPay means money, we good to go. So you see how it helps. I'm very excited because it helps small businesses. It helps the mama pop shop. It helps individuals to just operate faster.
In your response, you mentioned the use of aliases. Why is that important as opposed to having to use your banking details?
That is very important because that'll be another level of security. So now if I have to make a transfer to you, I go online, and the only way to do it, you got to give me your bank details. Now, there's one institution where you don't have to do it because they provide you can use your phone number or email, which is a step forward. But most financial institutions don't have that element of an instant payment, and they have to pay. It's safer because if you're saying down here, you got to transfer money to me, and I got to use my financial details, my account and my name. Some walls have ears. Let me talk real. Also, by people by sure to see. Whatever, it's a little riskier. But if all I got to tell you is my alias is Gov, or my alias is my phone number, or my email, or something create, like system recognize already knew, then all you got to do is go out and type in my alias. And once you do that, the system behind know that alias is related to me, or a pin or something. It provides that level of security, right? And I think also it's easier for me to remember an alias, Sharp Boy, or Sweet Landscapes, or whatever. That I remember what that bank details you tell me. In fact, even my God, I'm gonna find my phone, find where my bank details and give you. So alias helps you to protect your identity, protect your bank information, while at the same time interacting with the system and provide that level of security. We're gonna be educating people. We're going to educate people that at the end of the day, safety is yours responsibility also. You got to protect your login details. You got to protect these things. So we'll be doing that another time.
Yes, and it's much easier to remember your cell number or your email address.
Yes, just exactly.
Governor, BiMPay promotes inclusivity. And when we speak of inclusivity, I'm referring specifically here to how the unbanked will now be brought into the system if they so desire. Please elaborate on how that will happen.
Thank you. So, first of all, context. When we say the unbanked, we're talking about those who don't have any interaction with the banking system. Our estimates put that like 4% of the population. So, unlike many countries that would have been forced, like into this because of a huge on-bank. We don't have that. Yeah, it's important because still want to make sure they have access. But I think I would add to that the underbank. So the underbank are those persons who have a bank account but have not really utilized it. Something we remember about it, right? Or haven't utilized the full service of the banking system. So collectively, the unbanked and the underbanked now have an opportunity through the app to interact with each other, paying, receiving, commerce, etc. And by that process are now part of the financial system. So it makes it easier now. I should say, for example, with the app, and as regulator and overseer, the central bank will have put guidelines. Let me be clear. Money does not live in the app. So if you send me $500 to my app, that money is somewhere hold a custodian account, you will see it. So how it will work, you send me $500, the money leaves your bank account and it must go somewhere for me to see it in my app. That somewhere is a custodian account. So for the on bank, when I download the app and I go back, I can choose whoever I want. It'll be listed. And once you choose that, we have indicated that you must have service within 30 minutes maximum. Outside 30 minutes, you should go talk to me about why. Because it can't be instant and you gotta wait a day. We are serious about this. So you must have it within 30 minutes. You understand? That's on bank. Now, if you have a bank account, it is almost instantaneous that you have it because the financial institution already know you. You should be, all you gotta have is a facial shot, whatever, as the app will specify when I'm going to it. But the point is, within a few minutes, you're instantly connected. And so that's how we're gonna bring person inclusivity and achieve that goal.
And one of the recurring questions as we promote BiMPay is BiMPay the prelude to a cashless society, Governor?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. BiMPay is another option in the menu of options. You go to do transactions, you could pull your wallet, here's my debit card, swipe that. Of course, there's a fee for that. Here's my credit card, swipe that. MasterCard and things charge a fee, but the merchant, it's up to you. Or, take out your money, pay. Or, wait, BiMPay. Here's my app. Beep. So, it is an option. What we have seen is that in countries who implement this, you feel natural fall off in use of cash. Not a huge one, like countries that have it for 4 or 5 years, it seems like a 10% Brazil fall off in cash. Because persons find the convenience of not having to go to a ATM machine to withdraw the money. For example, you're going to get your hair done or to buy something in the market. You don't got the tour. Or you go that phone, you forget your wallet, but you still got your phone. Right? So you find that natural fall off. But it's absolutely no policy to remove cash. I think that'd be a fruitful effort ever. Because cash is king.
Yes, and thank you for stressing that, Governor, because people have been raising it as a concern.
No.
So in our conversation thus far, you've spoken at length about BiMPay, promoting convenience, instant payment, etc. How do you see this propelling economic activity, Dr. Greenidge?
Very simple. I mentioned to you, by opportunity and convenience. Let me show you mean. We always say the small business sector, for example. We know that it is a huge part of this economy. I can't earn the numbers offhand, but that's a very important sector. And that sector is even more important because behind every small business is a family or some other people depend on them, right? Let me show you a simple example for this kid. Go back to the car washer. He now can lose sales because a person may not have cash. And by the time you drive off, you ain't coming back to get him wash your car. Be real. You have laughter. Now, he does not have to lose that sale because of you don't have cash in your pocket. He says, "Ma'am, BiMPay me. You saying the $20 or how much it is to wash your car?" And he does miss a sale. So now, let's scale that up. Scale it up to other small businesses. I remember, I always give it an example, when I was in Miami a few years ago, it was Havana. And I on the beach walking. enjoying the sunshine. And an elderly gentleman passed me. He was selling peanuts. He's selling little things like snow corn, peanuts. And they said, peanut, speaking. And I fancy, he said, no dinero, no tengo dinero. I do not have any cash. You see? Cash app. No, Cash App is like a BiMPay app. It's an app on my phone, on everybody's phone. So because I used to work at the IMF and interact and live in DC, I automatically had Cash App. He put his phone, no, he ain't speaking English. He showed me his QR code, beep! And I walked away there with 2 bags of peanuts that I didn't want in the first place. But it is getting how he got a sale. That's commerce. So you can see it happen on the beach. People saying to tourists. Or you can see it happening coconut vendor, QR code. So all of this, all of a sudden, there's an avenue for small businesses to expand and grow. And that alone is a scale up. The benefits are phenomenal. Outside of that, that's just the app. I say to you that BiMPay is one where we build other PSP providers who now come aboard, offer additional services, card services, investment services, other services that will benefit people, and that again propel business. So we are building something not just because we want to build something or because it sounds fancy. Outside of this, opportunities we miss. Commerce will go at the same normal speed while the rest of the world's zooming on. We ain't got no choice.
A recurring question and a concern by several Barbadians is the security of the system. You mentioned earlier that the use of aliases increases security of BiMPay. But of course, there are other features. Just share a couple with our audiences so they better understand that this is a very robust system the Central Bank of Barbados is rolling out come March 31st.
Thank you. So first of all, the old system, is very secure. The new system is even more because we've built within that a number of technologies. We call AI technology, artificial intelligence, that are called fraud detection. They are built to find it. They are built to protect the system. The financial institutions are creating even beyond that their own fraud protection, cyber protection. And the central bank, we have spent quite a bit of resources improving in that area. So the system itself is even more secure than it was before. Of course, I will say you can't really be consistently upgrading and improving the systems. You can't always eliminate. So a large part of that security too will always rely on the user. And for that's why we are doing the huge educational program that we explain to persons about double authentication of your passwords, receiving a code, not sharing information. So we all in this. It is a complete package. But to answer your question, rest assured, this health and the safety of the financial system is our number one responsibility, Central Bank. It's part of our mandate, and we don't take it lightly. So that is secure even more than it is right now.
We're days away from March 31st. Are we ready to go live, Governor?
Anybody will tell you in the financial system tell you that I have been pushing. Persons are working 150%. Even yourself often look at me with red eyes because you're working during the clock. The answer is that as of this moment, I can't tell the future, as this moment, Noveline, we will hit March 31st. I also will say that every financial institution are working 150% consistently, along with Central Bank, along with government, along with your accounting general office, 24 hours. Here's the caveat that I want to tell you. I always try to be open. What we are doing now, we are in the testing phase. We are testing every transaction that can possibly happen, testing every whole there. How many hundreds of tests that every financial must I say hundreds of tests they must do. We cannot, and I will not launch on March 31st unless I have a high degree of confidence based on everything that we will make it. However, in this moment, I am certain beyond a shadow of doubt that we will make it on March 31st. And when that comes and when we do launch, we will be ready. we will be secure. The other thing we mentioned, is that we are every day. I'm getting the status where we are, and getting reports from the individual commercial banks, from the credit unions, who do an amazing job, being there first, even talking about them nowadays, and some of them are really beyond amazing. My internal team, the World Bank team, everyone I'm getting updates. So I'm in a constant position to, we are measuring towards that point. We are measuring towards that point. But I'm fooling you. What I know with 100% of confidence, I'm still evaluating. And when we do launch, we'll be ready.
And finally, Governor, if we could distill everything that we've discussed today, what are the 3 things you would want every Barbadian to remember about BiMPay?
1, BiMPay is a new system, replacing old system that is safe, it is secure, and it is fast. It's instant. 2, for you to get the full benefits of BiMPay from the customer and business side, which is the app, you have to work with your financial institution. You have to say to them, even now, look, BiMPay coming on board. How can I benefit? How can I position my business to take advantage of it? So, for example, what kind of structure you need in place to capture the information when BiMPay is happening? You have to be speaking of financial institutions so that it gives you, so you're able to get the benefits of QR codes, the benefits of request to pay and payment services. We can build the house and the store, but you got to occupy it with that conversation with your financial institution.
And the third one, Governor?
And the third one is, remember, we're all in this together. This will drive, first it's going to transform the entire landscape. Speed is already there, and safety, but also going to drive economic activity for small businesses and for everyone. So those are my 3 tips.
Thank you very much, Governor. This has been a very illuminating conversation with Governor Greenidge. Barbadians have every reason to be excited, or equally as excited as we here at the bank are about BiMPay. For more information, contact your bank or credit union, as Governor Greenidge said, or visit bimpay.bb. I'm Noveline Brewster. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.